So could you give us a few examples as in how do you understand your spiritual practices?
She is really feeling the pain and difficulty.
So Gita, would you like to discuss any other aspects which you feel are important?
Yes, if we go back to Krishna's pastimes.
Is there any reference about the environment in the Bhagavad Gita as well?
Yes, the Bhagavad Gita in many ways is a manual on how to live life.
It's a great pleasure to have Ms. Gita Parihar with us. She is an environmental consultant to the UN and to various environmental and human rights organizations. So Gita, welcome to our studios in GPC. It's a pleasure and a delight to have you here. And definitely we would want to know, how do you understand environment?
I can look at it from one dimension, which is the connection between Bhagwan Krishna and ecology. And to begin with, one might think that there isn't so much of a connection, but actually when you look more deeply, you can really see how this connection is very, very clear.
Okay. So could you give us a few examples as in how do you understand your spiritual practices in the light of our Hindu religious preachings and understanding of Hindu religion?
If you look at the advent of Bhagwan Krishna, the reason that he comes is that Bhumi Devi at that time, the earth is revered as a goddess in Hinduism. She is really feeling the pain and difficulty of having Rakshasis, Asuras, so demonic forces, people who are not behaving well and are causing destruction on the planet. And she is so upset by this, and she is in so much difficulty because of this, that she goes to Vishnu and she asks for relief. And so Krishna's appearance is to be understood in that context. And if we look at, for example, Varaha, that avatar, he comes to protect Mother Bhumi. Sita Devi is also linked very deeply with Mother Bhumi. She comes from Mother Bhumi in the beginning. She goes back to Mother Bhumi at the end. So we can see again and again that we see the advent of the divine is connected with protection of the earth. And so this is something that we can really learn from in our traditions, that when the earth needs protection, the divine will step forward to bring forward that protection.
Okay, that's interesting. And how can we just study the past links of Lord Krishna and see where is the association with nature and how did he help nature evolve, or how did he help ecology find its balance in the past times?
So this, the first way we can consider this is we can look at Krishna's Leela on earth. So he is Bhagavan, he possesses all opulences. Parashara Muni describes that he has all wealth, he has all detachment, he has all fame, he has all beauty, he has all knowledge, he has all strength, he possesses all of these in full. And so you would think that he will be in somewhere very opulent, he will be in palaces, he will have thousands of servants. And yes, there's a part of his pastimes, that particularly around the time of the Pandavas and the war in Kurukshetra, where he has those kingly duties. But where does he start off? He starts off in Vrindavan. He starts off as a cowherd boy. The most authentic time, you could say, the time where you see Krishna in his essence, at his happiest, where he's playing. He's herding the cows, he's stealing butter, he is playing with the peacocks in the forest, he's playing his flute in Vrindavan. So if you see that the most powerful being that exists in his choice is his happiest in this form, then that is also teaching us as bhakts that this is actually, there's something in this way of life, in this way of respecting nature, in this way of living in harmony with nature, that we can also learn from. So I would say that that was a very fundamental thing in his pastimes, in his Leela. You think of Krishna, you think of cowherd boy, you think of flute and river. That's very strongly there.
So true. I mean, it's always the anti-materialistic viewpoint which spirituality takes us to, that this universe in itself is complete and whole, and we just don't need to run after little tidbits of materialism and find happiness and solace. So Gita, would you like to discuss any other aspects which you feel are important?
Yes, if we go back to Krishna's pastimes, we can see that he also takes action to protect the ecology and nature. It's not only that he enjoys it and he feels the most complete and comfortable when he's in it. We can see this from the Leela of the Kalia, the serpent. So this serpent was spreading toxic fumes. He was polluting the Yamuna. The trees and the grass were dying. It was saying that birds that flew, that they inhaled the fumes and then they fell into the water and died. So poison was spreading throughout the river. So Krishna takes action and he fights the Kaliya demon and he banishes him away, so he's no longer causing this poison. So again, this is a very powerful example of Krishna taking action. And if we think today about the state of our sacred rivers and all the toxicity and poison that is spreading to them, there is also a lesson that we can learn about how can we take action ourselves.
True. Our rivers are almost vanishing, if you may say. Is there any reference about the environment in the Bhagavad Gita as well?
Yes, the Bhagavad Gita in many ways is a manual on how to live life. And there are many dimensions which can be give insight into the environmental debate. But to give one example, if you look at chapter 10, Arjun asks Krishna in what ways he can think of him. And Krishna's examples of how to consider his opulence, many of those are rooted in nature. So he says, of seasons, I am spring, I am the flowers that produce the spring with all of its flowers. I'm the light of the sun and the moon. Of rivers, I'm the Ganga, I'm the ocean. He gives so many examples that are rooted in the natural world. So here he's encouraging that when you look at these beautiful sights, when you're in nature, you're also remembering that this is sacred, you're remembering him, and this is his energy as well. And if you compare that to Christianity, for example, the idea of God is very separate. The God is in heaven and the earth is separate. But Krishna is saying very, very clearly again that the earth and the divine are interconnected, and a way of remembering him is when we look at these beautiful examples in nature. So again, if we're being asked to do this and to reverence nature, it's very clearly saying we shouldn't be exploiting it and we shouldn't be harming.
That's great. It was lovely having you over with us here, and thank you so much for being with us on the studio. And we look forward to some more nice, informative discussions with you in the future as well. Thank you, Gita.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.